let's just jump right in. You know, our society has such a weird relationship with emotions, doesn't it? We're always told to be rational, to keep it together. Being too emotional is seen as a weakness. And that leaves a lot of us just completely lost on what we're supposed to do with all these feelings. And this quote, it gives us the absolute perfect metaphor for what we're talking about today. It's going to be our guide, the emotional beach ball. Just picture it. You're at the pool and you're trying to hold that beach ball under the water. It takes so much effort, right? Constant pressure. And the second you get distracted, what happens? Whoosh! It shoots back up to the surface, and usually with way more force. Well, that's exactly what our feelings do. Now, a lot of the thinking behind this comes from research into what's called a highly sensitive person, or HSP. These are folks who just feel their emotions a bit more deeply than others. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Whether you identify as an HSP or not, if you've ever felt like your emotions are just too much to handle, then this is for you. So let's talk about the real cost of spending all that energy holding the beach ball underwater. What really happens when we fight our feelings? Let's break down some of the consequences, because they're not what you might think. It's a really fair question, though. I mean, if it's so exhausting and counterproductive, why do so many of us do it? Why do we put so much work into fighting something that's just a natural part of being human? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. When you're not used to just letting your big emotions be, the whole experience can feel overwhelming. It can feel genuinely scary, like you're going to lose control. We're just not taught what to do with them. So our instinct? It's to run. And that running leads us right into this vicious cycle. First, you feel something uncomfortable, sadness, anger, whatever, and you shove it down. Then, to make sure you don't feel it, you start buffering. You know what I'm talking about. Mindlessly scrolling Instagram, binging 3 seasons of a show, anything to just numb out. But here's the real trap. Every single time you do that, you're teaching your brain, see, that feeling was too scary to handle. And that just makes it even more terrifying the next time it pops up. So this is the crucial part. We get to a crossroads, and we have a choice. We can go down that path of what we call maladaptive coping, all that numbing, escaping, and avoiding we just talked about. Or we can choose a different path, adaptive coping. And that's all about guiding ourselves through our feelings, actually processing them, and trying to understand what they're trying to tell us. And make no mistake, this isn't just a mental health thing. There's this landmark book by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk called The Body Keeps the Score, and it's all about this idea. Those feelings you push down, they don't just disappear into thin air. Nope, they get stored in your body, and research is now linking this long-term emotional repression to some really serious physical conditions. Beyond the physical stuff, there's another huge cost. Every time we push down a feeling, we're basically lying to ourselves about what we're experiencing. And over time, that creates this massive disconnect from who we really are. Our feelings are a huge part of our authentic self, our intuition, and when we shut them down, we're weakening that connection to our own inner compass. And this might be one of the most important takeaways from this whole thing. You cannot pick and choose which emotions to numb. It's not possible. You can't put a muzzle on sadness and anger without also turning down the volume on your ability to feel joy, excitement, and peace. It's an all-or-nothing deal. When you numb the bad, you inevitably numb the good too. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem with fighting the beach ball. So now for the good part, how do we actually learn to just let it float? It all starts with this one simple principle. It's so powerful. We cannot heal what we don't allow ourselves to feel. Think about that. In order to process an emotion, to move through it and let it go, you have to be willing to actually feel it first. Healing just can't happen when we're constantly in avoidance mode. So, how do we do it? Here's a really practical 6-step framework. It starts with just being mindful, simply noticing what's going on in your body without judging it. Then you try to identify the feeling. You know that saying, you've got to name it to tame it? That's what this is. From there, you can find a healthy way to express it, process it by talking it out or journaling. And then, this is key, you listen for the message. What is it trying to tell you? And finally, you move your body. Go for a walk, dance, whatever. Help release that energy physically. So let's totally reframe this whole conversation. What if our emotions, especially those really big, intense, scary ones, what if they aren't a flaw in our design? What if they're actually a feature, not a bug? Because that's truly what they are. Your emotions are messengers. They are the fastest, most direct way your body has of telling you that something needs your attention. Maybe a need isn't being met, or a boundary was crossed. They're just data, and they're designed to motivate you to take action and take care of yourself. You know, the movie Inside Out illustrates this perfectly. For almost the whole movie, the character Joy is desperately trying to push sadness away. But it's only at the end, when Riley finally allows herself to feel and express her sadness, that her parents finally understand her pain. That sadness wasn't the problem. It was the signal that she needed comfort. Feeling it led directly to connection and healing. So really, the benefits of finally letting that beach ball float are just immense. We're talking about a deeper connection with yourself and with others. We're talking about better mental and physical health. You get to live a richer, fuller, more authentic human experience. And you finally get to hear all those vital messages your emotions have been trying to send you all this time. And that brings us to the final thought I really want to leave you with today. If you stopped fighting so hard, if you just relaxed your grip for a moment and let it bob to the surface, what is your emotional beach ball trying to tell you?